It's Karen from Stamping on the Back Porch, and welcome to today's YouTube Live, where we're going to be doing many different ways of coloring designer series paper. We're going to be using the Flowering Foils designer series paper. This is a free choice during celebration, and it's just got beautiful rose gold, silver, so it's got embossing with it, and this will be fun. This is only the second time I've done this, so if we can't figure out the comments and everything, you know, we're doing our best. It's all a learning curve. We are very familiar with doing Facebook Lives, and this is new, doing this.
You have a couple of people on.
Oh, good. That means it's working. That is so wonderful, and we will get started. So, the first thing I just want to talk about is, you know, I have to figure out how this goes, but any paper is beautiful alone. You really don't need to color. So we're going to talk about different ways of adding color. But I just wanted to point out, these are a couple of the things right here. We could add a few embellishments we could do. This is a cut out flower. They all just mix and match beautifully. This could be colored and put on there. But of course, we'll get that out of the way because of course we can always have things plain. Now we'll move on to my favorite way. I really got carried away with this, okay, is the Stampin Blends. The Stampin Blends are just so fun. It just makes you feel like an artist, even if you aren't, which I'm not. I think a lot of us feel like we're, but you know, I think we learn, you know, as I've learned that art is way more than just being able to draw. It really is color, line, design. There's all these other elements that I do feel I've learned a lot, and you know, it's just great. I just don't want to be stuck on having to learn to draw. So this is probably my favorite paper in this whole set. I think it is just stunning, and I've been coloring it in with Pool Party, Apple Green, and Light Cherry Cobbler, and I just wanted to finish here. You know, the background always looks nice just with white, but sometimes it's fun to just put in a whole different color. So I'm just showing how easy. I don't have you, oh, that should be red. And you know, if I messed up something that I cared about, no, I don't care about it. But if I were to care about it, look, this is just at the edge. I could just cut it right off and no one would be the wiser. Or I could just pretend that's a leaf, you know, it's all good. Okay, so what I wanted to show here was how pretty. This is one that's already done and matted. But look at the flip side. How pretty is that? So we have two choices right here. This to me looks a little more like, I don't know, maybe like folk art kind of things. And so a couple things. So I took one of them. I did one, and then I took the pen part of the marker. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys are talking to each other. I said absolutely love that. And this, I just took this and went around, and it just gives a different look. So I wanted you to compare that. And then I also thought, what about trying, and I haven't even tried this yet. I like to do things live, but I think this is really a fun look. So, and I won't finish this. I will update the show notes on here so you can watch for that, and that'll point you to the blog where everything will be finished and done. So I thought, this is so bizarre because I'm just following lines, but I feel like I need it this way. I thought, what about if we did it like just a fine black? So I'm just gonna go kind of all around. So this is what I love about card making and this kind of art is we just get to play. And sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't, but it's just all good. I'm gonna do a little bit more here so you see the sides. But I think this will be a whole different kind of look. So I'll put these all up side by side, and I thought, you know, you have a whole nother surface here to play with. Isn't that just awesome? So that is the first one with the blends right there. Good. I'm glad you guys will like that. And then the next one I'm doing, I took this one and colored it in. Oh, I missed a little part here, but that's okay. I didn't bring these colors out. I love quilting. I am a quilter. And so some of this kind of made me think a little bit about quilting. This kind of has, I don't do any more backs right now, but you always want to check that. So what I thought I would do with this one to put together is, I'm just going to make these, you know, if you have trouble angling or getting, you know, your sides just totally even, this is really a great way to go because it's not really mattering. You know, you're just going to put them on any old way. And I'm going to attach that. When I attach something that has like three layers here, I like to use the glue dots. They're stronger and they're just so easy to put on. I love glue dots. I go through them so quickly. And you'll notice I'm not finishing. A few of these I will finish and put words on before I photograph them. But I really just started doing this morning. Once you start playing, it's like, whoa, then there's this idea and then there's this. And, you know, I can never complete things and just let it be. So then I thought, since this kind of made me think of a quilt, let's add like little button things. This would look like kind of more of a modern abstract quilt. So I thought I'll put in the middle some of these. And I know this pink isn't really the right color, but I decided it looked okay since we're kind of going for a interesting kind of an everything look. I'm one of those people who can't stand to have you just, you know, keep on creating while I'm doing this, except when I do my late night stamping videos. Those are just for stamping and chatting. I do those over in my Facebook group, Back Porch Stampers, and we always would love to have you join us there too. But for these, it's like, get to the point. Okay, so I'll do one more, and then you'll just know that. I think, isn't that a fun look? Again, I will complete this, but I think that just really adds. So while I'm doing this one, Janice says that's like ADD for crafters. That is so true. You get in the room and you start doing one thing and you end up with several projects, many unfinished. And I always have to laugh because my table will start like this and by the end it's like, whoa. And I feel like I spend half my time hunting for things. Are any of you relating? But here's the next one. So I thought as I'm going on a roll here, using the same paper, I colored in the back. Oh, I thought I'd put that on and I really put it on terribly. And look at that fun too. I am going to attach this. I think, you know, I think even if you don't think you're creative, start card making and you will find out that you become very creative. Because, you know, I think you start out copying an idea from someone, which is always awesome. But then you start thinking, what if I tweak this? And what if I tweak that? And I just think it's really fun because you end up kind of developing your own style. So what this made me think of was a field of daisies. Now you might not see that yet, but I thought, well, why not? So now I'm going to take dark balmy blue. Oh, no, it's navy. I'm taking navy. I'm going to take navy because I thought this is navy and pool party, and I think they're kind of an interesting color together, not what I would usually put together. I haven't done this either, so this is all, you're part of my experimenting because I get ideas, because I thought it's kind of like the pool party could be like grass behind or sky, however you want to look at it. You know, this is all very abstract. Everything I do, I just like to say it's abstract. We're not going for realism anyway, because, you know, I can't usually get there. So I'm just putting in circles in my flower. Now, how easy is that? Okay, a lot of you are relating. Oh, a yellow dot in the center would look like daisies. Well, Becca Lynn, that was just a little too late for me, but that is a great idea. It would. What do these look like then? White flowers with blue centers, abstract, okay, impressionism. Yellow would have been perfect. And you know, yellow and navy are a great combination too. So actually, that's a great idea. Love that idea. So, you know, I think that's the other thing that's really cool about community and stamping. We share ideas with each other and we all learn. So I think it is wonderful. So that is the next one. And then I even took this one. And you know what this made me think? I have to put a picture up. We've always had a quilt hanging behind our sofa ever since we were married. A lot of them been quilts that I've made because I am a quilter. One we have up now is not. It's one that we bought at a garage sale, and I just love it. I just absolutely love that. So this is definitely a modern quilt, but do you see, this is kind of like a log cabin for those of you who quilt, and we just have our pieces going round and round and round, and it's very, it's more modern. The other thing that made me think of a quilt hanging is that it's not perfectly square. And you know, unless you're perfect, I know the one on the wall, when I do a picture of it, even the thing we have it hanging on, it isn't perfectly square. So this just made me think of, you know, of a hanging quilt. So what I wanted to do with this, oh, let's see if I can find all my little pieces. I wanted to put in little, I must have left something out here. It'll be on the picture, okay? I'm going to just visualize. This can be an exercise in visualization. What I was looking for was my little punch and little brads on the table. They would be, of course, where I was working, but if you don't see them, it's fine. It'll be imaginary. So I was going to hang this. We'll just do the rest of it. But I wanted to put little brads on it first, so it would really be hanging. And then I took words from, this one says one piece at a time, and I just cut it out because this is so modern looking. I thought that would work. Thanks for keeping me together, from the Love You to Pieces set, which of course I had to have because of being a quilter and all the pieces and stuff, but I just love that. Oh, and Tim found it. How about that? Oh, it's so nice to have a, you know, a helper here. I'm using just a skinny punch. If any of you have been with Stampin' Up! A long time ago, we used to sell these. It's been many years, but I still have them. So I'm going to just put these in, and because this is copper, I'm going to take my little metallic. Let's hope I have 2 copper left. I am running out of these. I have such a supply of so many things, and yet I still run out of things. Here's another thing. Can you agree with me on that? I said I ran out of Whisper White cardstock once, thick or thin, didn't matter. And I thought, I have all this paper. How in the world could I run out of something? But I do. I still have to watch it. Oh, okay, this one is not cooperating. Okay, I've heard if you bend it way down. Oh, it's because it's missing one. Oh, see? Okay, we'll try another one. It's the fine motor test here. See if Karen can do this. Okay, one worked. And then we'll do this one. Now I'm debating whether, what do you think? I'm debating, I won't do it right now, but I'm debating whether I should tie like little twine so it's like, you know, so like it is really hanging from something. I'll have to experiment with that, but I just love this idea because it just looks like a quilt to me. If you put thread or ribbon in the holes, oh, there you go. Okay, see? Chris, you're already thinking of that. So I haven't used brads in ages either. I think that's just hilarious. And I was trying to think, and I was looking at the quilt on my wall, and there are things that kind of look like brads in the holders. So I thought, well, I will just try that. So I will do something to make a holder and then finish this card. So this is it for blends. And if you haven't tried the blends, I always suggest just getting a couple of colors and a color lifter, and just start playing. Get the light and dark and just start experimenting. You will just love how beautiful things are. And then you can always add colors. Okay, so next let's see, it's hard to even know where to go next here. I have so many different things on. Okay, we'll do sponging because it's quite similar. Now I have some sponge daubers, so you're going to notice this is a similar and yet a very different look because it's much, much softer. And I wanted to show, Diane says she has tons of stuff, but never what she needs at the moment. Oh, is that the truth? That's why I cannot go away for a weekend to craft unless I have my stuff all planned. Because if I just bring stuff and think I'm going to, I will need something, you know, so I have to have a plan in mind or very limited supplies. You know, I did that recently and then see what I can create. So a couple of things I wanted to point out. Now, this is the same color, so I was using red, but when it finished, it just looked better. You know, 'cause it was a softer color and it just looked better on the pink. So I just wanted to point out a couple of things here. For these, I was using sponge daubers. And so like on the blue, I actually was doing mine kind of on the edge like that, and then kind of going in here just to make it a little smaller. And I can go back, but you can see the look with sponging is it's more free flowing, and I like that. And there's a lot of diverse colors in there. So yes, the color lifter, yes, it is great to lighten something, or if you go out of the lines, or if you want things more blended. So thanks, Patricia, that's great. These are actually easier to use if you want a more consistent bright color and say you don't have the blends and you want some other ways of doing this. So I just wanted to show how easy this was, because I'm going to go right off the edge here. If I'm caring at all about if I don't want to get, you know, like that, I just start off the edge and come on. It just makes a great way to make sure you aren't going to get those. Oh, I've got a little one there anyway, but I'll just do it better again and go over it. But you see how this is, I'm still going to have a softer line between them, which is just fine. I'm not sure how to stabilize my table. It is an antique library table. It's been in my family and I love it, but I guess it's not the most stable piece of furniture in the world here. So I'm having a lovely day here. So when we're done with this, we're going to go enjoy being outside. I said, we've been waiting. Yesterday was such a cold. It's, you know, you just wait around and the next day will change. Yesterday was so cold and miserable, and today is glorious. So each of these in this weekend is going to be perfect. But you see how fun this is? And so this is more richly colored in because it is easier, because I'm not as concerned about all the little ways out there. Now, if I were just leaving this white, I could also let some of this just kind of bleed into the white. You know, this is all like playing. So and I just wanted to show what the difference, you know, now if I did something like that and wanted to put a colored flower on that. So that is sponging with daubers. I actually love daubers because I have some good control. Do you see how I'm just going to show it on here? Now, when I first go down, you can get that circle. You know, if you go on the thing, you really get some fun colors. Now, you could do similar things. This next thing we're doing could be done with either sponges or daubers, but I'm going to do it with sponges. So go for some variety. Let's see here. So much stuff here. So this time I'm going to use 3 colors and a sponge. Yeah, we're going to spend this weekend outside, so I don't know if is that all over the country. Oh, I can't even mess with that right now, so I'll just do this. So this time I'm just going to grind this in, and again, I like to dab it out there, and then I'm just going to go on, and I'm pressing quite hard on this. I am using Mango Melody, and I was going to grab either that or crushed curry, didn't matter, because this is a color combination I use quite often. And then I'm going to take Bermuda Bay. For some reason, either people are being really quiet or my thing isn't updating. But, you know, it's all about the learning, and I will come back. This is only the second one of these I've done. And the first time I couldn't figure out when I went back, I thought the comments were all gone. So I had to do some learning on that. So, you know, hopefully I'm learning as we go. Okay, so there's my Bermuda Bay. This would be pretty just doing in different shades of a color too. And then next, you know, and I think part of these colors today they're using just make me think spring, and we're just so ready for spring. So then I'm just going to come back in here. So this just shows you that we could use any colors, any of the designs would work. Now, if I want things more muted at the end, and I don't really, but I'm just going to show you what I do. If I did, then, you know, I always go back to the lightest color. I should just leave these open, shouldn't I? and then I rub off some, and then I kind of go over the whole thing, and that'll just kind of blend anything together. You can also take a Kleenex. Here's a Kleenex to rub this off, and it'll make sure there's nothing, no inks sitting on top of the other. So this is how you would use sponges. Now I did another one. Oh, and so here's the finished one. And you see I haven't added words or anything, but I just think that's really a fun spring look. Oh, Kathy, you finally figured out why you couldn't comment. Because you know, you two, everything is different. They're just all these things that are just kind of fun. So I did another one. I didn't have time to finish it, but I just want, this is doing an ombre look. So for here, I started with Flirty Flamingo. I guess I'm just going to tell you because I don't have the colors here. So I started with Flirty Flamingo, and then I worked down to Melon Mambo, and then Rich Razzleberry, and then a little bit of Blackberry Bliss at the bottom. And then what I figured I would do, this will be the start of a card, so I'm going to finish it somehow, but I want you to you could blend different colors. And then again, I started with the lightest. Okay, this is well, this one's real red, but it's not going to matter anyway. Then you can always go back at the end. Any parts that need a little more blending, you can just go back and add a little more color. So just another fun way of doing. Ghislaine says she's been quiet because she's just enjoying your coloring. Good. Just sit and watch the color. You know, who likes to color here? I always love to know that. I'm not a big colorer, but I do find it relaxing. And what I've discovered is I like what I call purposeful coloring. I love to put a bunch of things together and then just sit and color when I'm relaxed, and then look at these cards I've made at the end that I can send out. And I guess I decided that's more me than doing a coloring book. I think it's all good and all wonderful, but I think that's kind of what I've decided I like. And I have to be in the mood. You know, it's kind of like, I like everything when you're in the mood for it, you know? Okay, so now the next thing we'll do, let's do some watercoloring. See, there's no end to what you can do with these. And so this time, I just have to hunt for, so I cut all these, I cut a bunch of pieces, 3x4, my smaller ones, on purpose because I'd get the maximum number of cutouts to try things. Like if I want to make a whole bunch of cards, it's just, and if this is big enough, you know, it sits that size. But if you're going to do some layering, it's just a perfect size on your 12x12 paper, because you would get what, 12, 3x4, now it's 9. I don't know. Someone will have to tell me how many of these you get. I can't do math and color at the same time. Yeah, I colors all the time. Becca says she loves to color. I put over on my Facebook page, have you colored yet today? Because I wanted to know who loves to color. I mean, usually if I said, have you crafted today, most of us would have done a little something. But now I am going to take and I'm just going to start this because, again, I'll finish it tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, but later. Let's see, here's a color. I'm going to pull out my color and see if it's going to be what I want. And then I'm going to just start coloring in. Now, I do like watercoloring too. I think it's the thing I like about the blends and other kind of coloring, I can sit in my lazy boy chair and sit and color. When I watercolor, I kind of have to sit at the table. So it kind of depends on what I'm in the mood for, okay? And then I'm going to dip right into the heavy duty part and just add a little color there, and that will automatically just kind of blend out and give some depth, which I think is just pretty cool. It's just an easy way to make that happen. Okay, and then I'm do the same with the green. I will pull that out and I'll put those in just the same too. Oh, and that's a little darker than I probably wanted, so you know what's cool is you can just wipe it right up. And then I can come back over here and make sure it's lighter and get my lighter base so that I can go back and add my darker. Okay, so that is one way Oh, Diana, that's really cool. She teaches a group of seniors, and coloring is their all-time favorite thing to do in a card. Do you know, I haven't thought about that, but that totally makes sense. And that's kind of a relaxing, and you can visit with people. The first class I ever did with a bunch of seniors, I brought punches. It was really, no one could work the punches. They didn't have the strength. And I thought, whoa. So, knowing your audience just kind of helps, right? And on other ways, I'm going to do two of these. They're going to be very similar. But this time I'm going to take my Wink of Stella. And I am going to put that in my color here. And I'm just going to start one because, again, I can finish this later. And this kind of gives a glittery look. I'm not sure if a picture will really pull this up, but I just wanted to show as a different thing. As crafters, we dwell in the land of possibilities. And, I just love that about what we do. So I'll do a little bit right there, and then a little bit there, and a little bit there. So I'm going to wipe that off. So I don't know if you can tell much difference, but I will label them and show them. A lot of times when you get the little extra shimmer, you really have to see it in person. Becca says she did her first try at watercolor for the weekend challenge, and it wasn't very pretty. Over in the Backport Stampers, we have a weekly challenge. And what is awesome is you get to see everyone's ideas about a card, and then we always, we just do a drawing and somebody gets a gift, but people are commenting. It is just so fun. But anyway, that is kind of the difference there. And then I'm going to show one more. Yes, you can do anything with anything. Isn't that, what's really fun? Now, the last one I'm going to do is also, I think, really fun. And of course, where did oh, good, I have one down here, I thought. Okay, this time we're going to use this. And this time we're going to just mist color. So I am taking these little mister things. I just have a little water in there. I'm hoping it's enough. We'll see. And so I just have water in here. Oh, Becca, thank you. She says the challenge is a blast. Community is, I do this with my husband, Tim. So a lot of our lives on Facebook we do together. But, our biggest thing is really, we love community and we love having people share what they're doing. So the Back Porch Stampers has been really fun. So this is just some ink redrop in here. Now, if I didn't want to waste my ink thing, I could spray this with plain water. But because I'm going to be spraying this, if I don't want it to all wrinkle up, perfect thing to do. I don't have that, but I do have this. So it won't go through onto the table. I often put one of those other little pads on here. If you just spritz the back, so it's a little bit wet, then it's not going to fold, okay? Because you can see it's folding this way. But now I'm going to spritz onto this, and it'll fold down and be, whoops, some of it got a little more than I wanted, but I'm going to show you what it does. And and I'm liking this. I like how it's kind of gliding in there. I'm going to do a little more here. And I'm going to be okay with that glob. So I'll try both of these. I don't know if it'll dry any differently. Look how pretty my background paper is. But I'll show you the one that I finished. So here's the one that I finished. And what I like about it is you actually do see these little droplets. It looks almost marbled. And again, I'm not sure that you can tell, but I really love the technique on it. It just looks, it's definitely the sprayed dots. And so by leaving this one, some of them bold like that, we'll see how that dries. So here I just took this, roll that on the floor, and we'll do this. And see the back? The reason it's reasonably straight is because I spritzed it. I spritzed it after the fact when I realized that, oh, I forgot this part. I mention it all the time and then I forget it. Well, Becca Lynn, I'm loving your comments. So I thought, but isn't this fun? And I think you can just see, we all know how playtime for adults is just really good for us. To just sit and play with all this and have fun. And you never know what you come up with. And you know, of course, I'm just tapping the surface. These are just some ideas to get you started with. The other thing I want to say about this paper is paper sells out. Stampin' Up! Does not make them in-house, and it's a free item with a $50 order. So if you're debating what to get first, if your list is long, I always say go for the paper because it just might not be there when you want it. This paper is just so much fun. If you need catalogs, and if you're not working with another demonstrator right now, shoot me a message. I'll put all the links below and in the show notes, so you can always just let me know if you need anything. Oh, and I think I'm gonna redo this. I'm a little fussy when it comes to that. I just did this with my finger now. I was just gonna pop this up, simple as could be, but just going with the grays and silvers. Now I can emboss this in silver, and that would be really striking because this is silver, but I'm too lazy. I'm not gonna bring out the embossing. And I think gray looks nice too. So I'm just very happy with the gray. So that's it for today's live. I'll come back and look at questions, and I will put in show notes later. We have it already. I really thank you for participating with me, those of you who are on live, and those of you that come back to the replay and watch again. And then just check out the links, check out the Back Porch Stampers and our Facebook group, and ask me any questions. And thanks, and I'll let you know when we do this again. Bye, and have a wonderful weekend. Tim? I don't know how to end this. Rotate. I need you for these things. I don't know how to end it. Am I still on? I have no idea what I'm doing. But, you know, I hope you're long gone if I am still on.
Orientation, that's just...
We can't figure out how to get out of this. Now you really know. So if it says it's like a 2-hour class, you're going to know it really wasn't.